Hey guys, Ted Simpson here, Certified Bob Ross Instructor. Ooh, my face is very bright today. And I've got a black canvas already pre-primed up here, ready to go with a little bit of the liquid clear on it. Let's make some interesting stuff today. I'm going to take a little bit of the alizarin crimson and, let's just drop some in here. Maybe a little bit more here. I don't know what's going to happen. What do you think's going to happen? I'm going to do some northern lights here in Michigan. In the Upper Peninsula, we get northern lights. So I was just asked to give this a try. Maybe we're going to have a few different colors here today. A little bit of the alizarin crimson. I add a little bit of the phthalo blue to make a purple color. And I'm just going to spread it around. Figure out where my crimson is going to be first. Then I'll add these little patches of purple. I don't know what's going to happen down here. Going to have some bubbling brooks or some nice waterfalls. Just covering most of this canvas here. I want to say most meaning like 99%, with a little bit of color. One color or the other here. Purple, crimson, a little straight phthalo blue. It's up to you how we want to do it. Look how simple that is. Let me clean out this brush here right away. All right, so with a mostly clean, meaning very clean, fan brush, I'm picking up a little bit of the titanium white, and let's go ahead and let's just sort of just tap in some color. These northern lights often make these nice curtains, so maybe we'll create these curtains of light. How much of this we're really going to see? Well, that depends on you. And down here I put just a little bit of color in to create some glow. Maybe this glow will be all the way through here. I don't really know. Now, with my super clean, super dry 1-inch brush, let's start. Lift, 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 lift. One little stroke at a time. You find yourself picking up too much white, you don't want it all the way across there. I just wipe my brush out, just following the same basic angle here. I'm trying to leave this glow alone here for now. Look at that. Now, notice how I went all the way across. I try to just keep things moving here. That way I don't stay in one spot and overwork it. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Now, you may see a spot here. Maybe you want it a little brighter. Let's just say right there. Maybe right there. Maybe right there. I add a small amount of white there and pull it up. and it'll add a little bit of brightness as you blend outwards. See that? Now, depending on how much paint you have on the canvas, this undercolor, you're going to get different results. The more you go over it, the more it's going to mix, and at some point, it's going to eventually just blend away. You're going to start pulling the color off the canvas. And you'll start seeing the black gesso canvas come through here. So I'm taking my brush now, and as you see here, I'm creating a little glow starting to happen here around the horizon. Look at that. I've got a lot of bright light shining on this, so once in a while I'm taking a step back, giving this a little bit of a look-see here. I like it. Super simple. And maybe, this is up to you, I'm going to take a little touch of the liquid white, and I'm just mixing with a little bit of that titanium white. Not very much paint. Look how much I tap away. A little bit of that color just tapped into the bristles there. Holding my knife perfectly flat like I'm looking at my reflection there. I just flick, and I can create some stars across here. That's it. We've got our sky done. All right, let's start building our way forward here. I'm going to take a good chunk of my crimson and some of that blue, make a nice little pile of purple. Maybe a little bit more crimson, a little bit more blue. I'm going to add a small amount of the Van Dyke brown just to dull everything down a little bit. Keeping the red and blue purple color nice and prominent. Look at that. Very dull, deep, bluish purple. And I think tap into a little bit of that paint. And let's create some trees here and some bushes. Now, of course, the brighter the glow, the easier it is going to see this little outline of trees and such. And it's okay, this is just the background stuff. So as long as you can see it where you're sitting and painting, we should be good to go. And let's add a little more here. I like to put this on, and most importantly, leave it alone. We want that nice, leafy, lacy look happening there. Okay. Now, I tell you what, I'm going to leave that dark brush and I'm going to get a lighter brush. I want to have a highlight 1-inch brush and a dark, shadowy 1-inch brush in case I need to do more layers here and I don't want to spend all my cleaning brushes. You know, that's fun, but it gets a little tiresome to watch. So let us see, what are we going to do? We've got all these colors happening here in our sky. Let's see about matching those up a little bit with the colors in our land. Highlight colors here. So a little liquid white, thinning it down with some thinning down the titanium white. Now I add a little crimson. Just a wee tap of blue. Just, oh my gosh, look how little blue you need. Because maybe I want to see some nice pink ones here first. And these ones here are going to reflect a little bit of that pink light. So just tapping a little bit here. Working my way all through these bushes. Different amounts of crimson, adding a touch of blue here and there. As I tap, I actually pick up a little bit of that blue. So you may start to see some purple form automatically. Isn't that something? As I move away, maybe there's a little blue one there. Creates a secondary layer of color. Anytime you want, you can go back and change it up a little bit. So you can have lights and darks and purples and reds mixing up. Multiple colors happening down here as well. There you go. All right, so we've got all these colors kind of happening down in our scene here, and I think I just decided here we're gonna make this kind of a wintry scene, I think. So let's get started and let's make some of our waterfall here. A little liquid white, titanium white, and just a touch of blue. And let's start making a little indication here. Bloop, bloop. This waterfall just kind of appears out of the woods. Add some little splashes. All sorts of little things starting to flow. And we get these little layers. Now look what happens here as I start working my way down. It's picking up some of this undercolor I put on and automatically making all sorts of reflected sky colors here in the waterfall. Maybe one goes over this way. Adding in some splashes. There's going to be little indications of a little pond, a little bit of standing flat water here. I'm not sure what to call it here. All this churn and burn down here. And maybe bloop, bloop, bloop. Splashes and all sorts of stuff happening here. Splashes. All sorts of churn and foam and all that good stuff. Scratching a little bit sideways here. There you go. There's the start of it. I left a big open spot. I think we're going to have some stones here. Always some stones containing this water. So to do that, I know I'm going to need more of the brown color on my palette. So, I think here, it depends on you and the size of your canvas and how you're feeling at the moment here, whether to use the small knife or the large knife. And let's just drop in some little rock formations here. You can use the big edge here or the small edge. Just drop in some dark color. Okay, spreading some of that color out here. It's all going to change when we add our highlights anyway, so as long as we get a little cliff-like or boulder-like look to it, this will look all nice and stony. And whatever's not finished up here, look at that, that water just kind of hits, and maybe it's going to hit this rock and create some splash right on over it. Who's to say? Who's to say? Now, a little bit of my titanium white and some dark sienna. Let those colors kind of meld together a little bit, nice and marbly. And let's add some little highlights here. Just sort of bump and dance. Give little indications of flat spots here. All these little things happening. This is just so loose and free. Just letting this paint dance around. Create little flat planes or little curves. Let it fall over. Give it a little more vertical look to bits. But remember to let some of that brown remain. That dark color, we need the dark color just so that the light will stand out. Now I'm going to come in here with a little bit of my snow. And let's start painting in a little indication here. Or a little winter scene. Now since this is night, it doesn't need to be just Arctic white. Okay, this is important. Let some of that undercolor remain. Look how the snow just falls over. Now it's catching a little bit of the undercolor as well, so it's not all going to be pure white. Picking up a little bit of the crimson and the purple. Now before I do too much else, let me get a clean brush. Very clean. And you notice that when you use the fan brush sometimes, it'll create these little rake marks. So when I go over it with the 1-inch brush, just ever so gentle, it'll take some of those marks out and make it look a little flatter, a little smoother snow field here. Cleaning my brush as I go. Very light touch. Soften that down. Now I'm going to come back and I'm just going to add some more rock. I like putting a little bit more in here. Helps cover up the edge of the snow. There we go. And at the edge of the water, maybe a little ripple, a little water line here and there. Put some stuff down in there, and look at that. Ooh, I almost forgot this big rock right in the center, didn't I? Probably wondering, hey Ted, when are you gonna put in that big old boulder here that splits off this waterfall down here? Well, I remembered. Just making it kind of stone-like here. Just the undercolor doesn't matter, as you well know. Just when we get a little bit of this highlight color, that's where this rock formation starts to come alive. Letting that brown kind of taking off its own bit of highlight here. There we go. Sometimes I'll take my fan brush here, take a clean one here, and just using the tips of the bristles, I pull some of that highlight down, give it a little vertical feel to it. You can do that here, right there. Add in all these little pulls here, give that little rock formation some shape. There we go. And we have ourselves a simple little Northern Lights waterfall in winter. Give this one a little sign. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a good time watching this. I'll see you in the next video.